Chapter 1, Lesson 3 is simplifying algebraic expressions. So, we need to remember we can only combine like terms. So, when we say combine like terms, that means if it has an x, you can only combine it with something that has an x. If it has a y, then you can only combine it with something that has a y. And if it doesn't have an x or a y, meaning it's a constant, then you can only combine a constant with a constant. Now, one of the things that I like to use in explaining combining like terms is you try to give an example of x. So example, think of x as number of cars. So when you have, if you let x be the number of cars, if it says 3x plus 5x, then that means that's 3 cars plus 5 cars, which means that will give you 8 cars. Or 8x. So again, whatever it is that's easier for the kids to understand, that's what you need to impart to them. Or if you kids are watching, that's how we want to do it. So cars can be combined with cars, balls can be combined with balls, but a car and a ball quantity cannot be combined. Okay, so which means our exercises will come from pages 18 to 20. Okay, so our exercises all instructs us to simplify. So again, here what we're doing is basically we're combining like terms. So if it says plus, you add. If it says minus, you subtract. So in problem from page 18, problem 1b, it says in letter B, 2z plus 5z. So again, my example is 2 cars plus 5 cars is 7 cars. So that means this is equal to 7z. So after a while, you get used to it. Then you don't need that example anymore. Okay, so which means here, I have 4c plus 2c plus 5c, which means what I'm going to do for explanation purpose, I'm going to add the bigger ones first. So that's easier for the brain cells. So that's 9. And then you add the 2, then that means that will be 11c. Okay, but if you want to add it from left to right, that's also the same. So that's 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay, now here on page 19, problem number 2, letter B, we want to simplify as well. But this time we're taking away. So it says 7 cars, take away 3 cars, which means we'll end up with 4 cars. Or in this case, 4a. So again, once you get used to the thought process, then you don't need the example anymore. Now, looking at this says 12y minus 7y minus y. Now, if you don't see a number in front of the variable, that means there's 1 in front. So I'm going to put it there. Okay, but if you can visualize it without, then that's fine. Okay, so which means it's just redundant. When you put a 1, that's technically redundant. It's like saying I have a 1y. So that's why you don't need to put the 1. Okay, but if you're on the careless side and you'll forget to either add or subtract 1y, then put the 1. Okay, so that means this right here will be 5 minus 1 is 4. So that means this is 4y. Okay, on page 20, it's now a combination of variables and constants. So since it's a combination of variables and constants, that means we have 3b plus 4b, that's 7b. Okay, and then we can also combine the constant. So that's 6 plus 2 is 8. So you see, I was consistent. I started with a bigger number. It's easier for the brain cells that way. Okay, and finally, in letter D, it says 8s minus 2s, that's technically 6s. So we combine like terms. So we can only combine the s's and the constants. So this says 6 minus 1, that would mean plus 5. So again, only like terms can be combined. And when we say combine, that means you can either add them or subtract them. That concludes lesson 3 of chapter 1. See you in the next lesson.